Yo, what's up guys? Coach Joe, Garage de la Swole, and in this video we're going to be covering a tip that could be an absolute game changer when it comes to your training and specifically biceps. So I'm actually going to do a bicep workout right now and we'll kind of just talk as I'm going through it. I really think if you pay attention, this will, like I said, be a game changer to your gains, your growth, your progress. So I'm gonna chug this and then we're gonna get right to it. Not gonna be a long video by any means, but I wanna deliver some good content and tell you guys some stuff coming up in the future. Let's go. All right, as always, we gotta do a pre and post bicep measurement. This is by no means gonna be my biggest bicep, but let's see what we got here. Oh man, the hardest part is trying to do this on your own. Around town. Biggest peak. Oh, there we go, it's a little bit extra. All right, right around 19 inches, baby. Let's start getting into it. I'm probably gonna do 3 exercises, and I'm gonna start off with probably some sort of bicep barbell curl. So whether it's gonna be a barbell or easy curl, it's gonna depend on how your elbows are feeling and your wrists. So typically if you have elbow or wrist pain, the easy curl bar, something that can be a little bit alleviating when it comes to that. So maybe I'll start with those, and I'm looking to get about 3 sets in that 12 to 14 rep range, and we'll keep going over some tips to help you guys grow the freaking pythons. So typically before I start most of my training, I have some sort of warm-up protocol. Usually I'm always using a band like this. So I'll just do 15 to 20 band pulls just like this to the chest. Then I'll flip this over. Same thing here. I like doing some pass-throughs just to kind of warm up the shoulder a bit. So as you guys know, I'm dealing with a rotator cuff tear, taking more of a conservative approach. With that, I'm really trying to focus on warming up the shoulder properly, strengthening any weak areas in the shoulder, kind of just working on some stabilization stuff, and then hopefully over time, it's gonna get better and better, which it has. So not looking for any setbacks. So I'll typically use this band. Obviously, we're doing some arm stuff. I like to just get my grip warmed up. So I got a Grip Genie gripper here. I'll just do 20 or 30, just quick and easy clenches of the grip. And it's just gonna get some blood flow to the hands. Obviously, grip has been like a secondary goal for me, growing my forearms, which I think we're at 16 inches. So I'm trying to get those bigger. So we'll crank through those. For those of you guys who were on the Patreon, my buddy, we were doing some elbow tucked and then going back and forth with the PVC pipe, which is just taking care of elbow health or any tendons around the elbow, bicep. So we'll do 20 or 30 of these back and forth. We'll switch to this side. Biggest thing is just keeping that elbow tight and really just putting it into the wrist for the pronation and supination. But usually I'll do 2 or 3 sets of that. And then we're probably gonna start off with the easy curl bar today. So let's get right to it. So this will probably be my working weight. I got an easy curl bar, and then I got 25s and then 5s on the end. So I'll try to get around 14, 15 reps, and I'll stay with this same weight for all 3 sets before we move on to the next exercise. When I'm doing these, I'm really focusing on a lot of principles that I learned from Dr. Mike, RP Strength, getting that full range of motion, controlling that eccentric. And for these, what I really like to do is obviously eliminate most body English. So try to keep body English to a 0 if we can. And then really work on that contraction right at the top. So obviously we're letting the bar come all the way down, okay, full range of motion. And then as we come up, I have a slight elbow raise and I'm just squeezing at the top as much as I can with that good mind muscle connection. So 14 reps, getting a good pump. So I'm pumped about that. And I'm trying to leave 1 or 2 in the tank so I can progressively overload this next week. Maybe I stay the same weight, add a set, or I'm gonna try to add an extra rep or 2 per set just so that I know I'm getting better at the movement. All right, guys, so next variation I chose to do is going to be a seated, low incline, alternating dumbbell curl. So we started off with the easy bar curl, which I like, having both hands on the bar, can really push some weight there. Now I like this variation because it's gonna be unilateral, so I will be able to just work on both arms. I also like the bench because it's gonna make me hang the dumbbell at the end or far range of motion, getting that full range of motion. Now, one thing I've noticed over the years I've done these is you can play with the angle from which you curl up. Now, this would be kind of just like a straight up angle right here. Okay, then we can go a little bit out to the side. And then I've even done stuff where it's pretty far out there, and it's just all part of experimentation. I will say, as you start to get wider and more out away from your body, it tends to put more stress on the shoulder. So for me, having some shoulder tweaks and issues, maybe you guys have it too, I like that in between where, since I was doing the easy bar curl, it's gonna follow more of this kind of bar path or dumbbell path. So I like to go just a slight out to the side, but not so much that when I'm starting to get close to failure, that my shoulder starts to have to kind of compensate. Okay, I don't want my shoulders involved with that. So I'm gonna do 3 sets here, looking for kind of that 12, 14 rep range per arm. And I just feel like I'm gonna get a really good stimulus from this. And then I'll kind of talk about, when it comes to bicep training, what has been a game changer for me. All right, so I'm gonna talk about why you clicked this video. I said it was gonna be a long video, and here I am, Coach Joe, rambling on about all sorts of things, but I can talk forever when it comes to training or life, and deal with it. If you don't like it, go watch somebody else's channel. When I was doing bicep training, years ago, I was doing a bro split, right? You guys probably can relate, doing back with biceps, stuff like that. Or maybe I would do biceps at the end of a strength day or pull day just as some accessories. And I just noticed that they weren't growing as fast as I would like them to grow. So when I started working with Dr. Mike over during COVID, he trained with me at the Lion's Den, and it was a great experience to have him as like a mentor, friend, learn a lot. He was doing his bicep work either before our leg sessions or as their own feeder workout, which doing biceps before legs was super weird to me. It just didn't feel right because we're working on biceps and then we're gonna transfer over to a whole different body part, have to get the pump going there. But what I realized is when I was doing the biceps before the legs, since there wasn't anything, like no prior pulling volume, no back volume, nothing with grip, I was getting an immense stimulus to the biceps, and I noticed they progressed so much faster. And for a while, I was having an issue with getting kind of like a bicep pump or feeling that stimulus, and I think it was just solely due to the fact that my arms didn't have much energy left after doing big compound lifts or after doing a ton of pulling exercises or a back day. So just that little switch of prioritizing the arms or the biceps in my training made the world of a difference. I know it's simple, but oftentimes when we're programming and we look at our program, it probably looks good on paper, but we have to remember, like, what are our primary goals? What's our intention? And usually if we bump that to the front end of the program, which could be the day 1 or day 2, or maybe the first or second movement, you have to know that you're gonna have a lot more focus, you're gonna be a lot more recovered, because typically we're coming off of a rest period, and we're able to really put emphasis on the lift or muscle group that we wanna increase. So if you guys are struggling with your biceps, I would say make them their own session, or put them before you do like your leg day, something that has nothing to do with the bicep pretty much whatsoever, so you can get that focus into that muscle group and you can get those gains. The other thing on top of that is, you guys know I'm a big fan of frequency. So before, years ago, I was only doing biceps 1 day a week. And like I said, they're pretty much at the end of a back day or the end of a training session. So I was already fatigued and there wasn't much focus and I was mentally drained. Where now what I like to do is put them in the second day or first day, and then I'll do another session later in the week. and that'll give me 2 days worth of putting energy into growing that muscle group or body part. So say I'm doing 3 exercises, 3 sets. We're at 9 total sets for today. Then I do another 3 exercises, 3 sets later in the week. Okay, now we're at 18 total sets, and we're kind of getting into that set range of anywhere from that 15 to 30. You know, obviously you're going to find somewhere between that works best for you to really get a good amount of volume to create the adaptation and stimulus that we want for growth. So that's kind of just what I've been doing. You guys can make it work for your programming, and it can work with any muscle group or any movement. I know it's simple. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, but there's so many times where I look at people's program who want to get better at something, and they either have it at the tail end of the week, or they have so many other movements in front of it that it makes sense why you're not getting stronger or you're not growing, because your body's already beat up. You can't put the focus that's needed. You can't push the weight as heavy as they needed, and you're not recovered enough. So when you make those goals, prioritize them in your programming properly, and I guarantee you, you're gonna find results. All right, my friends, so the last exercise we're gonna do is just some straight up hammer curls. I'm gonna throw a little bit more grip and forearm work with these. I'm gonna add fat grips. Typically, I'd like to use a cable for my last bicep exercise. I don't have them, so these will do. As you guys know, I'm on a grip kick, and I wanna grow the forearm, so what better variation than the hammer curl, which is gonna work the brachialis and the brachioradialis. So we got muscles in the forearm, right, long head of the bicep. So we're gonna increase that bicep pump while also getting a little bit of a forearm stimulus. So I'll throw those in, 3 sets, looking to get 10 to 12 reps per arm. I can obviously feel the fatigue building up. I just need those exercises, and then over time I can progressively overload it, but just wanted to explain the method behind the madness. So while these babies are juiced up, let's get another post measurement, see the damage that was done. They're feeling definitely full of blood. All right, so they were at 19.5. So by just doing the biceps alone, about a 1/2 inch worth of a pump, I will take that. In the past, I think I was in the 20s when I did a bicep and tricep pump. So future is looking bright, my friends. But that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Just wanted to show you what I do for my bicep specific training while I'm doing this strength block and more of a conjugate method style program. A lot of things to figure out. Just an experimental phase for me. I feel like part of that is just trying different things, learning, growing, being a better athlete, being a better coach, and not being so stuck in my own box. And then I have more tools to utilize when it comes to myself or others that I work with. So I'll be putting out a video where I do a very in-depth, nerdy breakdown of my programming over the years, how it's evolved, how it's changed, what worked, what hasn't worked, all the goodies. It's gonna be a long video, but for you nerds out there who are into programming and bettering yourself, there's gonna be a lot of value in it. But that is all I have. Oh wait. 2 cool things. First one I mentioned in the gym tour video, I'm being sponsored by Bells of Steel, and they're gonna send me a bunch of products to review for the garage gym. They were products that I actually was gonna buy regardless. I do have other pieces of equipment by them, which I'm sure I'll review in the future for you guys who are looking to buy some stuff. Like I said, just an honest, unbiased opinion. And then the other cool thing is, I know it's down the road, but the Arnold. So I will actually be at the Arnold at a booth with Grip Genie and Juji. I'm absolutely stoked. He reached out to me the other day and wanted me to come help out at the booth. So if you guys are planning to go to the Arnold and you want to stop by Grip Genie, I'll be there. Juji will be there. It'll be a great time. We'll be throwing down grip implements all day long. So it's just crazy. It's crazy to see within the last 10 years how I went from just being somebody who went to spectate and then now actually being at a booth, having really cool opportunities to meet people and you guys. So would highly encourage you to put it on your calendar to be at the Arnold. I'll be there all the days, and I'd love to meet you guys and see how strong my grip is. I'm sure it'll be absolutely smoked. But that's it. If you're looking to support the channel, make sure you like the video, subscribe. We have a ton of different options when it comes to programming, whether it's one-on-one, a la carte, custom templates, that whole deal. Also the programming app. We also have the Patreon, behind the scenes, exclusive content. So all the links are gonna be down below right here. So appreciate you guys so much. Until then, stay a lean, mean, strength, health machine. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.